Hopeful news! Despite collectivist politicians and their politically connected pals telling us that the terrible fires in the U.S. are the worst in history and the result of man-made climate change, it turns out, yeah, you got it, they're wrong. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRCTV. If one were to give the oh-so-trustworthy California Governor Gavin Newsom, the Democrat of course, Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat of course, and the Senator Kamala Harris, the Democrat of course, any credence, one would think that, as Salon Queen Nancy Pelosi said,
Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us.
And that so-called anthropogenic climate change is to blame for what are undoubtedly unprecedented fires in the United States. If one actually were blessed with a modicum of independent thought, discernment, and alacrity, one might recall the long list of sketchy, unconstitutional, anti-rights offenses all of them have committed, and remember that just over a week ago, Newsom and Harris violated property rights by standing on the charred remains of a California family parcel so that said politicians could engage in a photo op and spout their climate change nonsense. And if one runs into those blowhards, one might want to mention to them that their alarmism about the world burning and forest fires raging at unprecedented levels is utterly bogus. As John Miltimore writes for the Foundation for Economic Education, the claim that 2020 is one of the worst in U.S. history is simply not true. And Miltimore notes, fortunately, data from the National Interagency Fire Center, NIFC, offers some answers. So far in 2020, the U.S. has experienced 42,809 total fires that burned a total of 7,015,956 acres. These numbers are indeed above the 10-year average, 47,700 fires and 5,963,782 acres. However, 2020 is unlikely to exceed the number of fires or acreage burned just 3 years ago in 2017. But can we trust politicians and bureaucrats who have numerous incentives to aggrandize power unto themselves on the backs of crisis claims? Many will argue that 2017 was one of the worst fire seasons in U.S. history, a claim that was reported numerous times during the fire season. But Bjorn Lomborg pointed out these claims were also not true. And what does Lomborg say? The National Interagency Fire Center, curiously and somewhat conveniently, also shows the annual burnt area back to 1960, when fire suppression indeed was going strong, and hence we had some of the lowest amounts of burnt forests ever, wrote Lomborg, a Danish author and president of the Copenhagen Consensus Center. But hold on there. The pop media and so many thespians, both in Hollywood and the halls of government power, they said it's our fault. Climate warming, global change, or something like that. It's a crisis. Well, maybe not quite, writes Miltimore. News agencies and NIFC were simply ignoring all data prior to 1960. When this data is included, one sees 2017's record-setting fires burned about 1/5 of the acreage of fires in 1930 and 1931. These were peak years, but they were not exactly anomalies, Lomborg points out. The entire data set, a quarter century of figures that comes from the official record of the United States, shows the yearly average between 1926 and 1952 was several times higher than the peaks today. Only you can manipulate data, government. Whatever. Look, what are you gonna trust? Your own ability to gather information and figure things out? Your own awareness of how poorly government manages environmental concerns because it has no private property incentive and actually smothers private property incentives thanks to political favoritism and fascism? Or politicians and politically connected and funded bureaucrats and politically tied and funded professors? Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, and Kamala Harris are relying on you to keep believing the fiction. And of course, they will do that while they set fire to the rest of your rights, to science, to truth, and the U.S. Constitution. A few thoughts as we enter the fall season, and we hope that everyone who has experienced such tragedies because of so many of these fires can recover very swiftly. And those who have lost loved ones, our hearts go out to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Remember, like and subscribe. I always say it. Please share the videos with people. Check that you're still subscribed because I don't know, it's YouTube. They do crazy things sometimes. I just can't explain it. Why? I don't know. And when you share the videos, please tell people if they can share them. That's a real positive as well. We know information like this seems to be disliked by many people in social media corporations. And if you get an opportunity, please go to MRCTV.org. MRCTV.org is the center, the repository for all the great pieces and the whole team. You'll see Eric, Brittany, Nick, everybody is working so hard over there. I love those guys. They're awesome. And remember, if you want some good stuff to give as gifts, it's MRC-store. That's MRC-store. We'll see you on Twitter. We'll see you in Facebook. We'll see you on Instagram. For MRC TV, I'm Garden Boltzmann.